Hello and welcome back to an episode of Marvel Mad. I'm your host as always, Dwayne the Captain Coffee, and we're in another Marvel review. And this time we're reviewing Thor: Love and Thunder. Now, this one come out in July 2022 and it had a lot going on. It was very jam-packed to say the least. Now, we had a returning Thor, we had Jane Foster coming back, wielding Mjolnir, we had a screaming goat or two, we was going off to visit other gods, and I'll butcher his name, but he's a good actor in points, but I think this might have been a film too far for him. But Taika Waititi dialing things way up to 11, and it was a bit much. Now, let's start with one of the main, biggest highlights of this film, and that was Natalie Portman's Jane Foster coming back and being the mighty Thor. She absolutely delivered for me on this. Her return to the MCU felt powerful, emotional and surprisingly graceful for a film that was just complete chaos. Like a whole storyline dealing with the terminal illness of cancer and embracing godhood to basically keep her going and fighting the illness off. But then obviously the more she was being Mjolnir, the more it was making Jane Foster weaker, and like that scene at the end, where Thor is getting absolutely pummeled by the villain, we'll talk about it in a minute, and she has to come and save him and finish it all off, sort of thing. They don't really win in the end, as in win, because he still gets to, again, the thing we'll talk about in a minute, but her last breath and strength to sacrifice herself to save the day and win, sort of thing, was really, really nice now, and it just mixed everything, her vulnerability with heroism. It's one of the most compelling arcs in this film, and honestly I wish the whole movie lent more into her story and more depth into it, sort of thing, because she was the shining light in this film. Really, really was now, and I can't understand why they had that payoff, but I'd love to have seen her in another film now. She just played it so well. Now, Love and Thunder does split the fan base. The humour, look, in Ragnarok, brilliant. He got the comedy to drama perfectly now. But this, it was just that bonkers and all over the shop and daft gags and stuff like that. It was like watching this like a space comedy. It was just really, really all over the shop. Sometimes it really undercut the emotion, some of the scenes, sort of thing, you're having a serious moment and then all of a sudden you have just a daft gag or two. Don't get me wrong, some of the jokes did land, but there was just scattergun. It really was. It was just all over the shop now. And another thing that really ticked me off with this, do you remember the end of Avengers Endgame? Thor was flying off with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was going to be called the Asgardians of the Galaxy. It would have been brilliant to see them together in a more, even having a single film on their own, just doing Guardian of the Galaxy sort of stuff would have been great. But they was in it for 5 minutes, and they was gone. Their chemistry together. Thor and the Guardians would have been brilliant, and it would have given us just magnificent stuff. But it was just a quick cameo bit, and they was gone. I was like, why? What's the point? You had a perfect opportunity, and they just ruined it. And again, Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher again had so much potential. The design was creepy and perfect with the killer sword, God killer sword. That's how unforgettable it is. And the performance was creepy and good at points, but the script again just did not help at all. You have all this hear about how menacing and threatening he is, and he's a god slayer, he's on a revenge path now because the gods gave up on him and he's lost his child, and he's fighting to get to eternity to basically pretty much wish all the gods were dead, sort of thing. Or in the end he wishes for his child back. But it was just it wasn't really a true threat. Like you saw like these gods getting killed and stuff like that sort of thing, but you didn't really see. You wanted like a character like Gore the God Butcher with the villainous backstory he's got. You really want him to see how scary and menacing he is. But in this, he goes after a load of kids, kidnaps them, teases Thor and Jane and Valkyrie. They have like a giant kid battle thing with all the nightmare things and stuff like that, and then he still managed to get to eternity, but then Thor's trying to convince him to do the right thing, and he just wishes his kid back. It's really bad. It really, really was bad. Again, another one of the saving graces was when they're on, I don't know if it's like the dark, is it like a dark dimension sort of thing where they're on the moon and everything's black and white. That was really cool. And then they're fighting all the monsters on the moon thing. That was really, really cool and that lot. But the cool moments, like seeing Russell Crowe as Hercules, not Hercules, sorry, spoilers alert, as Zeus as well, and going to the city of the gods and that lot. That was really cool. The point, seeing all the other different gods and stuff, and but again, it just fell flat. It really, really did now. Like, it just, you had all this expectation and like this Thor, it's going to be mad, but this was just a bit too mad. It really was. And again, another post-credit scene that was just left there, sort of thing. Like, they didn't defeat, but they pinch Zeus's lightning bolt, and Zeus is still survived, and he's all angry, and we'll send somebody out and that lot. And he's talking to Hercules. But again, all these years later, Hercules never even appeared in anything else. Like, I'd love to see Hercules. Hercules in the comics is brilliant. He really is quite cool in that lot. But are we ever going to see him in the MCU? God only bloody knows. I'd love to see him in the MCU, but is he going to appear in Doomsday and Secret Wars? Probably not. Are they going to ever go back to it? Your guess is as good as mine. It's just so frustrating a lot. And again, with these like scenes now, post-credit scenes now, it just feels like a bit of bait to like, oh, what's the next? When's it going to show up and a lot? But you have no payoff at all. And this is really where you can tell where the fans are just like, they're not going to be bothered anymore. There's no follow through. There's no connected narrative to anything else. So what's the point even staying? I can understand now why people do leave halfway through the film and just sod off, because it's like, what's the point of staying around? Nothing's going to get paid off. But anyway, that's just my ideas and Thor and Thunder. It had big ideas and tried to have bigger laughs, but it just did not work at all. Now, you just need to slow it down sometimes and just let things breathe. Like, the standout thing for me was James Foster. That was just perfect. But the rest of the film was just not good at all now. But again, what did you think of Thor and Thunder now? Did you enjoy the cosmic chaos, or did it just miss the mark complete out? Let me know in the comment section below and that. Like, share and subscribe and all that jazz, and we'll see you all on the next video on Marvel Mad. Thank you very much, guys, and see you soon.